The following video contains explicit language that may not be suitable for children or those who may be offended by it. With this being said, I hope you all enjoy the video. Hello, yeah. Like every single week, I'm just gonna come up with a new and different intro to say hello, or a different way to say hello. Anyways, hello. What is going on, you guys? My name is Lane from Let's Talk, and today starts the official day of a new series. Well, it's not even going to be on this day. I just wanted to get this video up because, hey, I want to pump out more videos for you guys each week. So my plan is each week I want to do a sort of a raw recap, kind of podcasty type of show. This is mainly geared towards my wrestling fanatics, my wrestling fans out there. So yes, I hope that those of you who do not like wrestling will understand, but my channel is about mainly gaming and wrestling. Is both, because both are big passions of mine. They've been in my life since I was very young, so that's the things that I love to talk about the most. With all this being said, let's get right into it. To start off the show, Seth Rollins came back, the architect himself. I was pumped for this. Sort of a weird decision on WWE's part to make him a heel again, but I guess they're trying to stick with Roman Reigns being the top guy, the face of the company. I mean, honestly, I know it's Triple H's experiment. From what I was reading in an article or like a report or something, I forget what I was actually looking at. Roman Reigns is the byproduct of Triple H. This is Triple H's experiment. He basically wants Roman Reigns to be that top guy, and Vince said, you know what, okay, fine, you can do it. So, and it has not been working. So I hope that by SummerSlam, which is, I think is about 5 months, between WrestleMania, the last WrestleMania, and SummerSlam, I think it's about 5 months. I think that should be a good enough time trial for this experiment, and hopefully by SummerSlam they end it and give the belt to someone who is actually a good enough talent to possess that belt. So yeah, Seth Rollins is back and it's great. He's a heel, but honestly I would still cheer him either way if he was a heel or a face, because he's so great at the character. The Seth Rollins character is so amazing, because it's like he's that heel that's, you know, he's good enough to beat just about anyone, but he's still cowardly, and he is sort of like this opportunist, you know. So it's a really cool, complex character to Seth Rollins. Let's say Roman Reigns, guy who does not have zero character whatsoever. And I'll probably make a separate video about Roman Reigns, honestly, because I feel like I need to get a lot of frustration out about Roman Reigns. But Seth Rollins, he's back. He's a heel, yada, yada, yada. Comes back, delivers promo. He said, hey, F all you for not caring when y'all were booing me, blah, blah, blah. I don't need any of you. He says, hey, I never lost the title, blah, blah, blah. So Roman comes down, he's got that stupid look on his face, and then Seth jumps out. He's like, no, we do this on my time, blah, blah, blah. Shane McMahon comes out, he says, hey, you two are going to have a match at Money in the Bank. Next pay-per-view, I think, is about, what is it? 3 weeks, maybe, I think? 3 weeks, I think? I'm not sure. I have to look it up. So yes, and then we have that. And this whole Raw was a bunch of Money in the Bank qualifying matches, which actually is great because it makes you actually care about Raw and the matches that are going on, instead of like be a storyline with Roman Reigns. So, starting off the Money in the Bank qualifying match, you had Sami Zayn going against Sheamus, which obviously Sami Zayn was going to win. And it's sort of turning Sheamus into this grumpy Irishman, or is he Irish? Scottish? Irish, Scottish. I always mix the two up. I don't know why. Anyways. So yeah, Sami Zayn defeated Sheamus. I obviously that was gonna happen. And then afterwards, the match, Sheamus got all pissed off and grumpy, and he decided to go beat up Apollo Crews, who I'll get to about Apollo Crews in a minute when I get to it. And then next thing up, we had the New Day going against Social Outcasts. The New Day come out to celebrate the 1200th episode of Raw. They won. It was basically just a squash. I mean, you obviously knew the New Day was going to win. And then they threw cake into Heath Slater's face. Heath Slater just needs to quit now because he's terrible. I like everyone else in Social Outcast. Even Adam Rose when he was still in WWE. It's sad to see him go. So many problems within his personal life and everything. I think he just needs to get everything settled and come back when he's ready. But yeah, other than that, I like Bo Dallas and I like Perfect Son because I think he's great. If they had let him loose with his personality as much as they did his dad, he could have been great. I mean, outstanding, and he probably could still be great if he leaves for like a pretty good majority of the time and comes back completely new, fresh, then he could be awesome. So yeah, that was that. Next up we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match between Cesaro and The Miz. This was easy, no-brainer. Cesaro was going to win this. Cesaro is phenomenal. He sells his shoulder. And of course, they weren't going to give it to The Miz because he already has the IC belt, so it didn't really matter. So yeah, next up we have Money in the Bank qualifying match between Chris Jericho and Apollo Crews. This is my gripe about Apollo Crews. I like Apollo Crews, but when he came out, I was expecting for him to be holding his head, looking a little bit in pain, just a little bit. Just selling the fact that he just got beat up, but instead he comes out like a robot, smiling as if nothing happened whatsoever, and that really, really frustrated me. Because usually when guys get beat up backstage, they come out and they sell it. They're like holding their neck or limping, whatever it is. He just didn't sell it. It was just, I don't understand why he didn't do it. But, whatever. And of course he was taking on Chris Jericho. And then Apollo Crews botched the lion salt. I mean, this was Apollo Crews' kind of first big match. I mean, he's going against a vet like Chris Jericho. So probably not the best impression to be botching a move like that. But it's the only botch that I've seen Apollo Crews do. So I can't slack on too much for that. But at the same time, Apollo Crews is great. And I feel like the only reason why he was brought up into the main roster was because of Neville's injury, and they needed another athletic guy who can wow you while he's in the ring. So I think that's the only reason why they brought up Apollo Crews. And I think he needs to work on his character more. He can't be this smiling, just happy-go-lucky guy who is like, yes, I just want to succeed and be great. It's kind of John Cena-esque, and it's gonna wear thin really soon. He's great in the ring. He's great. He's phenomenal. But it's just his character needs more distinguishing factors about it that it's just lacking. So yeah, that's up for that match. And then, personally, my favorite spot of the entire night, Big Cass comes out, and then he waves his hand back, and Enzo fucking Amore comes out looking like a stallion, just looking obscenely out of place out of everyone. Like, you could easily spot Enzo from a mile away. He looked great. You could tell how excited he was to be back. Everyone was excited for him to be back. I love Enzo and Cass. Just they're not the best wrestlers in the world, but their gimmick is so on point. And Enzo is so great with promos. He is a professional at giving out amazing promos. That, like, it doesn't even matter how their in-ring work is. They're just that great. So yes, and then Bubba Ray and Devon come down. Big Cass has a match with Bubba, who he obviously defeats. That's pretty much it. And then the most emotional part of the whole night, Charlotte told Ric Flair that, hey, she didn't need him anymore. And that he was basically dead to her. He was never there for Thanksgivings, Christmases, birthdays, and stuff like that. He was always on the road, so she didn't need him anymore. Hopefully this kind of lines up a scenario where the 4 horsewomen are established because, Dana Brooke's there. So, and I think Ric Flair mentioned something about Anderson. So hopefully that's dropping a little seed as like, hey, yes, there's going to be like the 4 horsewomen. That would be awesome. Then next up, we had the Money in the Bank qualifying match between Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. Obviously, Dean was going to win this. I don't see why they put Ziggler in this match, seeing as he lost to Baron Corbin on Extreme Rules. But hey, I don't know. Who cares? So yeah. Then after that, was another Money in the Bank qualifying match between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Wait, sometime before that, actually, I'm missing this. AJ Styles and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows actually split up. There's no more of the club. Well, hint, there's no more of the club with AJ. So, I'll touch on that in a minute. Kevin Owens defeated AJ Styles. I was seeing a lot of controversy about this. Some people were saying, hey, why are they burying AJ Styles? I don't believe they're burying AJ Styles. The only way they'd be burying AJ Styles is if by SmackDown or next week or something, the club does not mention, hey, you lost that match because we weren't there for you anymore. You do need us. If they don't do that route, then yes, it's going to look a little bit like AJ's being buried. So yeah, I don't know what WWE has planned for AJ now that he's lost the qualifying match, so I guess he's not going to be in Money in the Bank. I don't know. But it's great to have KO there because KO is great. I love him so much. One of my favorite lines he said last night, well, he said that night on Raw, was like, I think he said, I could hear you, Michael Cole, shut up, or something like that. It was so great. It was great. It was awesome. KO is great. He's probably one of the best heels in the company right now, next to Seth Rollins. So yeah, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, no more the club with AJ. AJ is out. He says, I don't need you guys. Loses the match, and then I think on like WWE Network Access or something like that, it was online. When KO went backstage, he was on an interview, and he said that, yeah, maybe AJ lost because of what he had to go through Extreme Rules, something like that, yada yada yada. And he said that the club wasn't even his to begin with. it belonged to someone else. He just stepped in, something along those lines. He just stepped in, and he is dropping that little seed saying, hey, Finn Balor or Prince Devitt was the first guy to lead Bullet Club. So maybe he's dropping a little seed there saying, hey, yeah, Finn Balor is going to become the main roster, and maybe he is going to be in charge of the club, which would be great. Because honestly, I don't see any other way Finn Balor can go to the main card in any type of storyline besides the club. Because that just makes perfectly logical sense to do that. So, that was it for this Raw recap. And also, another big news, there is the brand split that will be coming. I think they said July 19th. They just announced this earlier this morning. And it was just, I don't see why they did this so, like, out of the blue. It really didn't make sense to me. But hopefully they do it right this time. They don't split up any tag teams, and they don't create 2 world titles, because having 2 titles defeats the purpose of having, like, the main champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a world champion of this show and a world champion of that show. There has to only be one. So I'm very intrigued to see what they'll do, but I just hope that they don't fuck it up, because they've done it before. It was terrible. Oh man. And then when they broke up, like, I think 2 or 3 different tag teams when they did their first brand split. I think they broke it up, Bubba Ray and Devon, and this is really weird. Nobody wants to see a great tag team be split up. Nobody wants to see that. So, hopefully they do it right. Cross your fingers. But guys, with this being said, this has been the Raw Recap Show. Again, I'm not sure what I'm going to officially call it, but this is a Raw Recap. And this is kind of a show, kind of a podcast show. I want to get this kind of up and going. Hopefully, you know, we can start getting a little community here on the Let's Talk channel of wrestling fanatics who can come together and discuss these things, especially in podcast form like this. And hopefully I can start doing kind of like live streams in the near future, taking questions and thoughts from you guys that you guys will relay on to me, that I'll process and think about and will give you my input on. So hopefully this becomes a great thing. This will be a weekly thing, so know that next to all the regular videos that you get each week, you will be getting this video too. So maybe if you just enjoy longer videos hearing me talk, my thought process, or whatever, hopefully this is something you will enjoy. But yes, guys, with that being said, this has been the Raw Recap Show. That's what I'm calling it for right now. The Raw Recap Show. With that being said, I hope you all have a gorgeous day and take it easy.